that we're proposing basically an end result where we don't buy oil from OPEC countries. I wish we didn't have to buy oil from OPEC countries. In fact, the obvious way not to have to buy oil from OPEC countries is to produce our own. But if you don't put a provision in this legislation allowing America to produce its own energy and have its prices set by the market, because they're all set by the market, then all you're doing is denying the American people the energy that they need to run the greatest economy in all of human history. And I know this is not the intended effect of this legislation. I'm not suggesting that. But I will tell you ultimately one consequence. If there is a shortage in America of oil and natural gas, and there is, and OPEC has enhanced market power, and it does as a result, and you pass this legislation and turn the Justice Department loose on OPEC, and OPEC takes the position of, well, okay, we won't sell you our product. We'll sell it to somebody else. And you don't allow America to produce its own oil and gas, then you have effectively killed fossil fuel development in the United States. Now, I know my colleagues don't intend that result. That's not what is behind this bill, but it is certainly a consequence of it.
So the question is on the adoption of the Cruz amendment. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Amendment is not agreed to. Are there any further amendments?
Mr. Chairman.
Senator Cruz.
The campaign trail, President Biden said, no more drilling on federal lands, no more drilling, including offshore, no ability for the oil industry to continue to drill, period, ends. Well, it turned out this is one of the campaign promises he actually kept. And in the opening days of the presidency, President Biden halted new leases on federal lands, both onshore and offshore. Together, production on federal lands comprises roughly 25% of U.S. production. This amendment uses the same enforcement mechanism as before, which is it prevents the federal government from spending the results of any judgment of a lawsuit on this unless and until the administration opens up leases for drilling on federal land, onshore and offshore. And this amendment, like the previous amendment, is an opportunity for members of this committee to decide, do you want to see U.S. production, or do you want to see America dependent on Russian oil, on Iranian oil, on Venezuelan oil, on oil produced by our enemies? And by the way, the foreign oil is produced far dirtier and does more damage to the environment. So if the Democrats vote no on this amendment, you are voting for fewer jobs in America, more oil from foreign nations who are our enemies, and more carbon being emitted to the environment, more pollution, because the foreign oil is produced far dirtier there than it is here. And I urge members of the committee to support the amendment.
Mr. Chairman.
First, we'll see if there's anyone. Well, Senator Kennedy, you're first.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I am all for breaking the back of OPEC. I'm all for it. I'll take a dozen. But why does OPEC have market power? Why does it have market share? Because it has no competition. Why does it have no competition? Because President Biden has declared war on oil and gas. And he doesn't want America to produce its oil and gas. And therefore, that cedes control to OPEC. I mean, OPEC doesn't set oil and gas prices. The market sets oil and gas prices. If you want to lower oil and gas prices, yeah, do two things. Sue OPEC, give Justice Department the authority to sue OPEC, and let's start producing our own energy.
You mean if we vote right now?
I support Senator Cruz's amendment.
Chair Durbin, on this vote, the ayes are 10, the nays are 12.
The amendment is not agreed to.
Thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel. And while you're at it, please leave us a comment. Thank you for watching.